Hello.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to this walking edition of Travel Talk Tuesday.
Yeah.
And today the topic is how to meet people while traveling. Number one, when you go to a hostel. We never actively search to talk to people, but I don't know, it just comes so naturally. As a backpacker, you probably know that. You're just cooking something and people start talking to you, asking you where you're from, where you're heading towards, just stuff like that. And definitely don't like go in your room and stay on your computer or reading your book, or of course sometimes you need some alone time. But definitely don't like isolate yourself. If you have the desire to meet people in the hostel, you should definitely go in a dorm, because if you go in a private room, you probably won't meet people unless you're like chilling out in the common room, in the kitchen. But in the dorm, it's even better.
Yeah,
So
with the dorm you have more possibilities.
exactly. Okay.
Number two, I would say that another way to meet people is just to get a job, actually.
Yeah.
Once we had a fruit picking job,
Awesome.
and then back then in the orchard we've met a ton of backpackers going and coming from every direction, and then we stayed there 3 weeks, and then I think we made some good friends for life. So
Yeah.
get a job.
Exactly. And then we were traveling for a month after that in British Columbia, and we kept like meeting them everywhere we went. If you can't find an actual job where you make money, definitely sign up for Woofing or Workaway. That's really good too, because when we were in Chile and Puerto Varas, we did a Workaway for 1 month in a hostel. And we were like in a common house with other travelers, and I was working at the reception, so I was meeting so many travelers, and then at dinner we would all be like having dinner together and chilling out, and oh, it was so cool, right?
Yeah, another tip that I could give is just smile. When you smile to people, they'll talk to you, for sure.
If you're in your corner and just like with your, I don't know, like resting bitch face, as they say. Well,
Resting bitch
yeah,
face.
if you have an RBF, well, not no one will talk to you, but anyway. Number three, finding an Airbnb where you have a room in the house of a family. So in Guatemala and Nicaragua, we were with a family, like actually an old couple, like an elderly couple, and that was so much fun.
Yeah.
Because we were like sitting with them at dinner and breakfast and talking to them in Spanish. So we actually really improved our Spanish because of that, thanks to that.
Yeah.
So Airbnbs are amazing for that. Sometimes, of course, we particularly looked for Airbnbs where we would be alone. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. After like 2 weeks being on our own, sometimes suddenly hit us like, man, we want to go in a hostel and be with like 30 other young people or whatever their age is.
Okay, here's some tips about how you can just break the ice, okay? Go and meet people with a beer in a hostel, and then just open it up and say, hey, the beer is good here, hey? and when I say hey, usually people are like, oh, Canadian folks.
Are you saying that your tip number 4 is alcohol?
No. The tip number 4 is find something that is very cool in the country where you are, and then just talk about this.
That's such a good idea. I just thought like, we never used like websites and apps, but that would be a good idea if
Yeah,
you're
the
into that.
apps.
Like meetup.com. I have used meetup.com like in my own area. We were in Berlin, and me and my sister, we looked on Couchsurfing, and we saw like that some people are meeting up at a corner store to buy a beer and just walk around town with the beer. So that's such a cool idea, right?
Yeah. I just thought about a new tip I could give you, okay? If you want to meet people, locals, okay? You just go anywhere where there is, I don't know, a market or maybe street food vendors, and then just go talk to them and ask them basic question like, okay, what's the place where you go to eat?
Yeah.
What's your restaurant? I don't want to know where the tourist restaurant is. I want to know where you go to eat, and then you'll have like in the local experience.
Yes, for example, in Guatemala, when we stayed in Antigua with the elderly couple, we asked what was his like favorite place to eat Guatemalan food, and he told us about this like counter in the street that we would never have seen or noticed if he didn't tell us. So you see, like, how can we discover a place like that without talking to a local, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
remember, the locals are the key.
Yeah,
The key.
the key.
They do
We
not-
thought instead of us stuffing our faces in our living
Chocolate
room,
and cookies. Yeah.
we thought like we'd walk and do the travel talk at the same time. By the way, thank you for watching. Subscribe to us if you like us.
Yeah.
And yeah, give us a thumbs up. That helps us out a lot and makes our day. And see you next time.
Bye bye bye.
Bye bye.